Hi there, it's Tom and Tom, the two podcasting geniuses on YouTube that nobody knows about.
Yeah, we're podcasting anyway.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're getting better all the time, but someday someone will notice. Well, usually we tell people to click the subscribe button at the end of the video because we don't ask people to do that until they've sampled our wares. But wait till the end of the video and you'll see. We're going to do it. But what are we going to talk about today, Tom?
Teams.
Teams.
And with a focus on the teams of smaller companies, that is our focus for doing most of our work in.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work and you've done a lot of work in companies. You know, one of the my favorite, more recent ones was actually among the people who paid me the most money to do the work I do. They tend to have 10,000 or more software developers. And it's nice, you make a lot of money helping with them, but it's not nice in that you sort of have the least impact on their system. So we're going to talk about smaller teams, effective teams, and I think a little bit about how cool AI is going to be for smaller teams if you're leveraging it well.
Yeah. And for anybody who follows me on LinkedIn, they know I've been ranting lately about AI teams because I find myself on a team where I'm the only human and the rest of the team's an AI. But I don't treat it or them or whatever, I don't know what pronoun to use anymore. I don't treat it like a tool. I treat it like team, like a team member. And when I do that, I always reap tremendous rewards. Like if I tell it what to do, it'll do it. So I never tell it what to do. Never. I say, I'm thinking this. What do you think? Always, everything I propose is a suggestion. Now, they do tend to be a little sycophantic, but I will tell you, Claude has told me no many times, or at least disagreed and said that I was wrong.
They tend to be sycophantic, and you and I both use Claude right now, at least this week, for AI dev. So you also learn. So I like to have conversations with my AI all day throughout the day. I have a set of agents on one screen over to my right that are working on often programming tasks. I have another primary agent that I mainly talk to on my left, where we're preparing work for the team on the right. And when I'm talking to any of the agents, I try not to be overly leading with how I'm thinking, which is the same way I try to talk to my human employees.
Wow, what a surprise. Like, oh, you mean people like to be treated that way too?
Like you could just tell them what to do, or you could say in the midst of a conversation, I'll even use an example from today, but you could say what your outcome you're trying to achieve. You could say some of the ways around how that outcome is to be achieved that you want it to be aware of, and then let it do it the way it wants to.
Yes, I almost always
let it push
that.
back.
Yeah, I rarely argue.
We were working on a phrase today, myself and another business partner, for a brochure, and we had changed 7 or 8 words to 2 like 4-line forward taglines, and I put it into I had an agent designed just for this type of conversation. So I pop over and I'm talking to it. Well, he's on one screen. I'm talking to the agent on the other screen. And the three of us, whether he's using it exactly, he knows that or not, are actually working as a team. And he had his AI open and he was asking it questions. So there were the 2 humans and at least 4, if not more agents involved in the call. When the agent was criticizing our rewrite, he and I were both like, yeah, we think the agent's wrong. And then we were trying to understand why it was wrong or what we liked about what we'd written. And finally, Moshe, the partner I was working with, was like, it's this has the rhythm we want. And I'm like, yeah, rhythm. And so I said to the AI, as opposed to our new one has the rhythm we want, which would have been a leading question. I said, have you considered rhythm? Because I didn't know where it was going to go with that.
Right.
Because it had like, it's like, I think what you wrote sucks, and I have 5 better things. Which was good. It was pushing back. And I'm like, have you considered rhythm? That's all I said. And when it just word on that for a moment, and it's like, yeah, considering rhythm, yours is better than any of my suggestions. I was blown away. So I intentionally often try not to overlead it. Just have you considered rhythm, or
Right.
and to see what it does with that sort of prompt or idea.
But see, you are an expert team member. So you bring all these skills to the table to begin with. And I think that some people don't have good team collaboration skills.
What are some of those skills that you think we should maybe call out? To say practice.
Right.
You can practice with your AI. That's the best part.
Right. So, one of the things that is so important to me, and what I always encourage when I'm working with a team, is to just stay open-minded.
Mm.
And when you disagree with something, your first instinct always needs to be curiosity. Like, if there's a disagreement, that means one of 3 things. You're wrong, they are wrong, or you're both wrong. And you're not going to know that until you get really to the bottom of it. And you may find out that what you're really debating over aren't facts at all, but just opinions. And people are bound to have different opinions, especially when you're doing product development. You're almost always considering the future.
You're just guessing it. You're just trying to predict the future. Trying to predict it. You're mostly wrong most of the time. Like
Right.
the most likely occurrence when you and a coworker are arguing is that you're both wrong. That's the most.
Right.
And if you can appreciate that, you can maybe become a
Right.
better team member.
And the great thing about an AI is never going to get offended if you just call it out directly. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's wrong. What information do you have to back up your claim? They're not going to get all, defensive. They'll just, offer up there what they know, how they base their decision. Human beings are not always so kind. And so, we have to learn to deal with that when we're working with human team members. But we don't need to deal with it with AIs, and that should reduce the friction to learning to behave that way.
And there's techniques, De Bono and his thinking cap technique, which I learned rather late in life, but I really like. It's like, hey, and I don't remember even the colors of his hats, but it was like, we're gonna put on the red hat. What does the red hat mean for this idea? It says, all we talk about is how the idea makes us feel. We're just giving, like when you have the red hat on, all you're giving is the emotional response to the idea.
Ah, yes.
And you could go around the room and you could do that. Then you put on a different hat. What's the other hat? And with the blue hat on, I only say things I like about the idea. And now you're all challenged to come up with things about the idea you like, even if it's not your idea, even if you don't like the idea. There's some part of the idea that you're going to be challenged to describe what there's some part about it that's good. Tell us what that is.
Right.
So we got your emotional response, we got what you like, then we
It's
can
like,
do what you don't like, right? And the idea of putting on these different hats is the same way with working with AI. It's like, how does this make you feel? You can literally do that prompt with the AI. What do you
it's
like
like
about this idea? What do you not like about this idea? It'll answer all of those with we'll just roll with you, right?
right.
So will your humans. Ask them. Get them to explore more than just reacting. Get them to explore. Wow, I love them. I just want the emotional response.
It's like, I really hate this idea, but I love the word perpendicular that you're using there.
Yeah,
It's like,
whatever it is, you got to come up with it.
you got to find something, right?
Everyone was working at home, for COVID. We're going to make you all come back in and work 5 days a week in the office. You can see the hats, man. What's your emotional response to that? Like, let's just surface that first, because that's a fun one. Then what is good about that idea?
Get to be with your team members
Yeah.
in the flesh.
And then what is
Go out
bad
to
about
lunch
the idea?
together. What's that?
And then you can keep putting hats on to explore.
Right.
What are ways you would change or enhance the idea? Like a different hat. Like when you start doing all of those at once, I think it either breaks down into chaos or a person might overly lead the conversation.
Yeah. But those things are like training wheels, and some teams need training wheels. And so those are good tools to have to get your team where they need to be. But collaboration is hard work. It's a skill separate from the work.
Mm.
And I think people just assume that we'll collaborate, fine, whatever, no big deal. It is a big deal. Like, collaboration is a skill that doesn't really get taught. And as you point out, there are books written about it, but a
No
lot
one
of
reads
people
them.
don't read them, right?
We probably wrote a book about it. No one reads these.
Maybe we did. But people go to the office, they have work to do, they have responsibilities that they will be held accountable for. And some people just love collaborating and they're good at it. And other people just want to do what they're accountable for, do it well, take the credit, get the raise, and go home, Like,
Yeah.
and so they're forced to collaborate. As I like to say, product development is a team sport.
Yeah.
If you're not a collaborator, you're in the wrong business.
And there's more that are out there than you realize. We launched a project, just launched a software product in one of our businesses. The most important person currently working on the team, they maybe don't know it, is one of our users. Who's using the product more aggressively than most of our other early users, and is shooting us a ton of feedback, including video clips.
Wow.
We like our most important team member is one of our customers right now. And of course, the more feedback they give, the harder we listen. And we just in the last 2 days completely changed the nature of the core experience of opening and being in the app based upon a team member who isn't even a team member, but we think of them as being one now.
Right. Part of the product discovery team.
Yeah. The usability team and feature team. by the way, when we use the word collaborator, we're using the American angle on it, not the European one. They're like, don't use that word.
Yeah, well,
We mean
get
someone
over it.
coming together and working with, yeah, get over World War II. Please. Apparently that term still has negative meanings.
Yeah, well, the
from the
memories
big-
are a little longer over there in
from the
Europe.
big wars. We mean it as the people who are coming together and working together to achieve an outcome together in a positive sense. Really powerful.
Yeah.
And I just see the nature of that changing in a really good way as we leverage these new capabilities and these synthetic team members.
Synthetic team members. That's the right way to think about it. Do you have synthetic team members on your team? And if you don't, why not? You're gonna lose your job to the guy sitting next to you who has a whole synthetic team that does their job and can do your job too in its spare time. So if you don't use synthetic team members, someone else will do it for you. And they won't need you anymore either, just for the record.
And these, I'll tell you what, I don't know that AI would ever do. It might someday. I should always be careful about whatever. Who knows where?
Ever's a long time.
Who knows where quantum computers, but it isn't doing now. It wouldn't necessarily listen to that feedback from a user, contemplate it over an extended period of time, and come up with the insight that something significant needs to change.
Yeah.
Right. There are certain things that are uniquely powerful human skills right now.
For sure.
And because frankly, anything that user says right now, the AI will just go, that's a good idea. And they're not all good ideas.
Well, it will, depending on how you word it. Again, this is so important. If you say, I really love this, do you think it's a good idea? Yes, it does. Because you love it, that's good enough for it.
Do it. I'll write it up. It'll take me 10 minutes. I'll have it implemented.
If you say, I have this idea, I don't know if it's any good or not, what do you think? You might get a different answer.
Yeah.
So learning these skills that you should use with people too. With AI, it's every bit as important.
And, we talk about documenting and lining up mission, vision, and values. When I work with my AI, and I'm working with one of them for one of my projects on marketing, that's what I was talking about earlier, it's reading all of those documents. So when it was critiquing some of our copywriting, it was critiquing it in the context of everything we'd previously agreed upon. And that's really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, those context windows are getting bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm. So like when it's looking at a feature, if you've prepared it well, it's going to be looking at your mission, your vision, your values. It's going to be looking at things you've declared about what's in and outside of the box and why, and how you're thinking about the market and the product and the relationship. It's going to do real marketing work with you. And boy, that's pretty cool too. And again, what are we as humans in that loop right now? We're the agents that actually have intention.
Right. Well, we're the ones that can think out of the box.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that AI, some of the reinforcement learning models that are being built now are all about thinking out of the box. But the LLM-based technologies that most of us use, they're statistical models that are not, they're going to stay in the box. That's where they live.
What you bring is intention. You bring, no, this is the mission. This is the vision. These are the values. These are the rules that we've put in place around how we want this product, this project, this service, this brand to operate. And you help us analyze or implement this following the guidelines the humans have created.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And if you're not doing it, you're missing out on an awful lot of fun because right now and the rate is, we'll see if this is my cut on the rate, but the rate is now 2 weeks. If you haven't tried something in more than 2 weeks, you are hopelessly out of date with what the tech maybe is able to do for you. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was saying it was 3 weeks. It's now down to 2, which frightens me because it's like, in 4 months, am I going to be going, is it a day? Well, if you didn't try it today, you only failed yesterday.
Welcome to the elbow of a technology growth curve.
Like an exponential curve, man, is a weird thing to be on, and we're really on it right now.
We might even be on the backside of the elbow now.
A year ago, it was 3 months. I'm like, well, if you haven't tried it in 3 months, and then probably just a month or two ago, it was 3 weeks, and now it's like 2 weeks. If you haven't tried it in 2 weeks, you should go see what the tools are doing now because it might do it for you.
That's right. Imagine what you think the world's going to be like 20 years from now and expect that in 5 years. Anyway,
wrap it up.
We've once again gone longer than we generally like to do, but we have so much fun. And if you enjoyed this video, we would love for you to drop a comment and let us know, because we don't, if you liked it, we don't know unless you say. And while you're down there, please, I know I mentioned it earlier, going to mention it again. Click that subscribe button. If you made it this far, we must be doing something right. So click that button, and you'll get more videos, and other people will see them. It'll be good for all of us. And in the meantime, if you want help building AI-enabled teams or building a culture that is inclusive of non-human teammates, reach out to us at beintentional.biz, and we'd love to help you. Until next time, this is Tom.
And Tom.
See you soon.
Bye.